Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be discussing about National Capital Region Transport Corporation has started, is going to start shortly the service of regional rapid transit system. So it is a bit different from the mass rapid transit system or MRTS, in the sense that in MRTS it is basically it is serving one city township, the different business districts of one township getting connected through this. But in RRTS, basically we intend to connect one city from the suburbs of that surrounding that area. Now we have some suburban railways, railway systems in Bombay and in Calcutta. But the problem there is that the speed which it can attain is much less. Although those are called electric multiple units, EMUs, or diesel multiple units where diesel operation is there. So they are basically the car itself has the ability. The coach itself has the ability to, run on itself. That is, it contains driving wheels. So there are two on both the ends, and both are capable of moving like that. So these EMUs and DMUs, they are in service at many places, especially EMUs are in service in Calcutta and in Bombay. But also there are some places, local trains which are running, DMUs are there, which are running, but those are not so popular. So the fundamental difference between a normal train and the EMU is that the acceleration rate and the deceleration rate of these units is very, very high. So it can suddenly stop and suddenly start. As you might have seen in Bombay or in Calcutta, if you have to catch a local train, then in that case, you have to be very, very quick because the train comes, stops at any station and immediately picks up speed. So that is to avoid loss of time, and the stoppage also, timing is also very, very less. But still, since it is running on the conventional tracks, so the maximum speed which it can gain and the signaling system which is there, those are all primitive old systems where the signal is a visual signal, and the driver always has to be there on the vehicle, and he has to look for the aspect of the signal, whether it is green or he is supposed to stop and all that. Whereas if you want to move at a speed higher than say 140 kmph, 150 kmph, in that type of scenario, you can't depend on the normal conventional system. And moreover, the coach design and the track tolerances, all those things are also required to be very precise. So keeping those things into account nowadays in modern times, this type of suburban connection which has been thought of, moreover, the distance between two stations normally in railways is around 8 to 9 kilometers. And signaling system also mostly is not automatic signaling territory. It is basically conventional block suction type of signaling, where one train is moving, then the other train cannot follow unless there is your automatic signaling territory. Of course, those things have been introduced because frequency of trains have to be increased. So automatic signaling territory has been introduced in the local trains. But to have a better service and better safety, especially, this RRTS Regional Rapid Transit System has come into existence. Here in India, it started working. So NCRTC was formed, and for that, and its responsibility was to develop routes connecting the Delhi hub, which is called Sarai Kale Khan. So from there, different routes will be originating. So initially in the phase 1, there are 3 routes which have been chosen. If you can see my screen, so in the screen, you see this is the hub, Sarai Kale Khan. And from here, this one is the first leg, which goes to Meerut, and it is through your, it is entirely, the leg is in UP, and so this particular this thing route was the foundation stone for it was laid by PM, our Prime Minister, in 2019 March, and this is around 80-kilometer stretch. So it this particular stretch, again, the work was supposed to be there was a priority stretch for which this foundation stone was laid, and that foundation stone was laid for actually in this whole stretch. There are 2 depots so to serve this. So one is at Duhai, and the other one is at Modipur. So Duhai, the stretch which is having the depot at Duhai, that portion was planned for opening to the traffic. Now you can see that this is also crossing this Yamuna river over here. So, and then goes into UP area. So Sahibabad is one place, and also Shahjahanpur is there. So these areas, so this stretch was thought to be commissioned first. This is the priority stretch, and the work was started here in full swing, and the work of design of this stretch was given first initially, and the agencies were fixed for doing the design, and for checking of design also agency was fixed. So then came the general consultants. So the general consultants were appointed, and it was a consortium of one company from Spain that is called ISA, and then it was one company was from Italy, Italfer. So it was a joint venture, and lead partner was, of course, ISA. So I also joined this group. I had the privilege of serving in this for initial 1 year. So I joined in the month of May in 2019, and up to May 2020 I worked there. So I was associated with geotechnical engineering. I was the lead expert for geotechnical engineering. I was there. So in this stretch, since design work was in advance, although the whole of alignment was not even finalized, but this portion, everything was finalized quickly. And in this portion, design activity was started. So we had to, review design and everything for this stretch immediately after joining. And the work proceeded. So that's why the general engineers, we also had people who used to visit site for site supervision and all that, so that work could progress fast and smoothly. And really the work went on very smoothly. And now the trial is going on. And for that, actually, the coaches which were made, they were made in India itself. Alstom was given the order. Of course, that was also through a tender, but it was Alstom got the award. So there, the manufacturing was done in Gujarat coaches, and the first coach was delivered, and after that, gradually the cars are being supplied as per schedule, and testing is going on, because testing is very, very important. So all the works almost have been completed. Some finishing work here and there are left, and testing work is going on. So this will be shortly inaugurated, this stretch, and open to public. So here now we'll come to the basic systems, and then also talk about civil engineering aspects. So the system here is different from the conventional railway, because the signaling arrangement, for that the cable is laid on the track, and there are electromagnetic sensors in the cars, driving cars, at the two ends for movement on in the opposite directions. So it picks up signals from that cable, which is central cable, which is laid in between the track, and it is guided by that. If any communication is there through that signaling cable, so the automatic detection is there, and accordingly it is all computerized system. So it immediately, whatever is to be conveyed, that is conveyed, and accordingly, if any brake is to be applied, immediately brake will be applied. So whatever, if there is any warning, anything, it will immediately pick up and stop. So manual mode, although you can keep in manual mode, but it will switch over to immediately, if there is any problem, it will switch over to automatic mode. And mostly it is running in automatic mode only, because signaling aspects are not visible. So it has to be picked up from the cable itself. So whatever is the operation control system, whatever instructions are given, those are passed on through this signaling cable, and it is picked up by the train, and accordingly action takes place. So it is basically a driverless technology. So there is actually no need for a driver, but driver is still there because of various reasons. So now the train, actually the stations here are about 5 kilometers apart. So therefore it can pick up more speed. So in case of metro, what happens, although the acceleration and deceleration are very quick, but since the distance itself is less than 1 kilometer, therefore it cannot pick up the speed beyond maybe say 100 kmph or so. So maximum you will find the speed for the driving cars will be 110 kmph, not more than that. Normally it is around 80 kmph also sometimes. So that is one thing. And signaling arrangement is such that it can allow same direction traffic at very close intervals. That is called headway. Headway can be very, very less. It can be even less than 1 minute also. So that is the ability of this signaling arrangement. So trains can move with such frequency. So these are the benefits. And the speed here in RRTS, because of the distance between two stations is around 5 kilometers, this speed can reach up to say 140 and 50 kmph. Basically the design speed here has been kept as 180 kmph. So it is quite substantial. So 180 kmph. So the normally 10% less is the operating speed. So it can go up to that speed for operation. This is this thing, and then most of the section is elevated and underground. These are the two types of stretches. So there are two stretches which are underground, two sections. Those are still work is going on. So there the type of soil, of course, is very bad. We have taken care of the type of soil, which is actually silty type of soil, prone to liquefaction, and they are in loose condition also, certain depths. So I, being a geotechnical engineer, I had recommended that at those places, the design of pile and all those things for elevated structures, as well as for the underground structure and all that. Proper care has to be taken because of the soil being liquefiable. So those stretches were also marked on a map, on a profile rather, and in that profile we had shown which portion is liquefiable and all that. So that type of identification was done. Of course, the underground stretches, they are actually the design is to be basically done by the agency which will be executing the work, and accordingly all the specifications, terms, conditions, everything of the tender were formed accordingly for them, the design will be checked by the general consultants. So that was the idea. So general engineering consultants. So but for elevated sections, the design is not being done by the executing agency. For that, separate agencies have been hired for design, and their design is being proof checked by the general consultants. So while checking their designs and all that, I used to take part as a geotechnical expert and advise them about the type of foundation that they have to, and the design, if there is any requirement from the point of view of design, I used to mention, like there are certain issues, some portion was in rocky terrain where I suspected the presence of a fault. So when the bore logs were seen, it was found that at certain location, the condition of rock was very, very bad, and other places it was good. So from that, it was clear that at that location, because of the presence of fault, the rock mass had got affected, crushed. So there the value of RQD, etc., was coming very less, and therefore I had cautioned them to take proper precaution in the design. So these were the different aspects which and then there was a connectivity issue also with respect to metro line which are already existing in Delhi area, and also in the this RRTS system. Actually, it was not simply the RRTS connecting from one end to the other up to Meerut, but Ghaziabad being at the center. So the Delhi Ghaziabad Meerut line also has, in addition to this RRTS, it also has connectivity to local areas. So there is MRTS system also where the interchange between this RRTS and the MRTS can take place. So that planning is also, and the execution of those also are involved here. So those tracks will be separately connecting to it. So this is the story of this Delhi to Meerut line. Similarly, from Delhi to Panipat, this line, this is also part of phase 1. So here the work of investigation and other things and were in progress. Still the agency finalization, etc. is not yet done. Similarly, another leg here, actually investigation was, this was ahead of this Panipat line. So this is coming this side to Alwar. So this is near Sohna, it passes near Sohna. So here also there was the presence of Sohna fault is there. So here a lot of geological, especially rocky areas are involved in this, and underground length is quite substantial in this portion. So here also a lot of precautions. Here, of course, I was not working for this, but they used to consult me on certain important issues. So I used to guide them. Of course, here the agencies also for GC and all that, those things are and design agencies, they have been fixed and the work is going on, but it will take some more time. Here also other stresses are going to take time and they will be opened in phases. So this is the scenario. And then in future, they will also add certain lines to it. Like you can see, these lines are there. Those will come in other phases. And the connectivity, like from here, these things are there. So these lines are planned from here to this side, like that. These are the future, developments which will take place. So they will take a lot of time. But initially, these three will be completed. These are the main three, and there will be a hub here. And the train, suppose, for example, if this leg and this leg is connected, so the train may start from here. And if this one is also commissioned, then it will come here and then continue and go up to this end. Or a train, when this is completed, a train may start from here, come like this and go to this direction. So a train starting from here can go this side or can go this side. So a passenger who has to go on this side can opt for the train which is going directly to that place, or a train which is originating from this side, going like this and going that direction. So here he can change the train after coming from here. So that, in this way, he can have connectivity to all the three legs and without losing time. He doesn't have to wait here for a longer time. So this is the idea. So this one will be the hub for this, and then other connectivities, as you can see from this leg, this connectivity is there, this connectivity is there here, and this connectivity is there. So it is getting connected here also. So like that, there will be many connectivities in different colors. They have been shown. So here, like for example, this one is going like this. So it is connected here, like that. So how many minutes are left now?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I will invite questions from you because
is this screen that you have shared required? Because throughout your discussion, the screen was there. So you can remove the screen.
Yeah, I will remove.
1 minute remove नहीं कीजिएगा.
But this map is so confusing.
1 minute.
I mean, this work is so tiring and tough. No?
नो प्रतुल जी,
हाँ
प्रतुल जी,
यस,
नमस्कार, अशोक बख्शी हियर.
हाँ बोलिए बोलिए बख्शी.
It was a fantastic explanation you gave. Future possibility दिख रही हैं. Delhi is getting so congested,
हाँ
so people might be thinking of shifting out. तो हमारे 2-3 क्वेश्चन है आपसे.
हाँ बोलिए.
हमारा जो मेट्रो नेटवर्क है ये NCR में आउटसाइड, like I came to know about Panipat right now from you only.
From
Panipat और क्या क्या पॉइंट है जो which are going to be connected.
Yeah.
Which are these points to
work is there in the direction of Panipat and in the direction of Alwar. The works are in progress, and especially in the Alwar side, that is going via Gurgaon, almost parallel to the NH. Okay, so it is going like that. So and then takes a turn towards Sohna, and then from there it goes into Rajasthan also. Not only Haryana, but it crosses Haryana border and goes into Rajasthan.
Rajasthan up to what point? Alwar तो Rajasthan आ गया, उसके आगे?
हाँ, Alwar
ना?
हाँ, Alwar, yes.
Amazing, fantastic. So there'll be big opportunity in Alwar. That means once you this और approximate कब तक ये project हो जाएगा?
देखिए ये 2025 तक में तो मेरे को लग रहा है ये पूरा इधर वाला मेरठ वाला कंप्लीट ओपन हो जाएगा. अभी तो आपका वो स्ट्रेच जो है साहिबाबाद से वो जो ये वाला है आपका दुहाई जो डिपो है, और वो वाला सेक्शन पहले ओपन करेंगे. ये कौन सा दुहाई में एक जगह है जहाँ डिपो इनका बन रहा है, तो बिना डिपो के तो ये कमीशन नहीं कर सकते ना. तो डिपो एक दुहाई जगह है, दुहाई में वो डिपो है. और दुहाई से साहिबाबाद जो है ये ऑलमोस्ट एलिवेटेड सेक्शन है. तो इस एलिवेटेड सेक्शन में काम इन्होंने प्रायोरिटी में कंप्लीट किया. जैसा मैंने कहा कि जीसी के आने के पहले ही यहाँ पर काम इन्होंने शुरू कर दिया था डिजाइन का, और डिजाइन का काम एक्टिविटी शुरू हो गई थी. अलाइनमेंट भी पूरा अलाइनमेंट फाइनलाइज नहीं होने पर भी इस स्टेज का अलाइनमेंट पहले इन्होंने तय कर लिया, और उसके हिसाब से यहाँ पे डिजाइन वगैरह का काम शुरू हो गया था एक्टिविटीज. और हम लोग जब आए जीसी तो हम लोगों ने इनका डिजाइन का वो रिव्यू करना जो होता है ना, प्रूफ चेकिंग वगैरह, वो सब करना शुरू कर दिया. और इन द मीन टाइम इन्होंने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी जो है फाइनलाइज किए. सबसे पहले प्रायोरिटी में ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट यहाँ पे फाइनलाइज किए गए, उसके बाद एग्जीक्यूशन स्टार्ट हो गया वहाँ पे.
तो ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किसको दिया गया?
हुआ उसमें हमारे जो जीसी जो हमारी आई वो वहाँ पर उन्होंने कंस्ट्रक्शन सुपरविजन वगैरह का काम शुरू कर दिया, देखना क्वालिटी इंश्योरेंस कंस्ट्रक्शन, ये सारी चीजें वहाँ शुरू हो गई.
तो ये कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी आपकी कर रही है जिसमें आपका हैगा ये जीसी?
हम लोग जीईसी जो होता है किसी भी मेट्रो में या यहाँ पर आरआरटीएस में, ये जीईसी का काम होता है, या जनरल इंजीनियरिंग कंसल्टेंट या जनरल कंसल्टेंट बोलते हैं. तो इसमें जो है एक्चुअली ये जो इनका काम होता है मोस्टली जो काम होता है, एक तो ये होता है कि डिजाइनर जो डिजाइन करता है या कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, तो दो तरह की चीजें होती हैं. एक होता है जो कि डिजाइनर डिजाइन करता है, जो कि डिजाइनर काम करता है क्लाइंट के लिए और डिजाइन देता है अपना, और उसके हिसाब से एक बीओक्यू बनता है, और उस बीओक्यू के हिसाब से उसमें रेट सारे हर एक आइटम के रेट्स दिए जाते हैं. डिटेल्ड वो बीओक्यू बनता है इसका, और उस पे फिर वो इनवाइट किए जाते हैं, ये टेंडर इनवाइट किया जाता है, और उसमें वो लोग परसेंटेज अबव या बिलो उस बीओक्यू के ऊपर में कोट करते हैं. तो ये हुआ जो नॉर्मल बीओक्यू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है. एक होता है कि इंजीनियरिंग प्रोक्योरमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है वो एक टोटल अमाउंट, उसका हम जो एक एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट देते हैं, और उस पे वो जज करके अपना वो एक कोट करता है कॉस्ट, वो टोटल कॉस्ट होता है. इट इज नॉट लाइक कि इंडिविजुअल आइटम के लिए वो कॉस्ट कर रहा है. वो बोलेगा कि मैं इस पूरे प्रोजेक्ट का भाई इतना हम चार्ज करेंगे, उसमें उसका पेमेंट का टर्म्स रहता है कि इतना प्रोग्रेस होगा तो उसके साथ इतना पेमेंट होगा. तो उसमें जो है वो दे डू द डिजाइन, दे सप्लाई ऑल द मटेरियल्स, एवरीथिंग दे डू. So it is all their responsibility. What they are given is the preliminary, design and drawings, which are only preliminary in nature, because they have the option of going for different design altogether also. Because the design is not detailed one, it is simply a preliminary design. So they are responsible for everything, and they have to submit the design, and they have to get it approved. So normally for the underground sections, the design is done by the contractor, and it is checked by the GC. And during construction, GC's role is also to supervise the work in terms of quality, in terms of specifications and other things, and progress monitoring, and how much of work has been done, payment according to that, the measurements and all, which will be submitted by the contractor for the work done by him, and then it will be checked by the GC, and then finally, so different departments are involved in the GC. It is one department. The signaling department is there, electrical department, overhead. Like here, it is overhead traction. It is not third rail system. It is the power is derived from the overhead wire. So there is one third rail system also, which is where the current is drawn from the third rail. The two rails are for the wheels, and there is one more rail through which the current is withdrawn. So, but in case of RRTS, normally it is overhead only. It is not. But in metro, we have two systems, either overhead or third rail. Third rail, naturally, voltage is kept low. Otherwise, it can prove to be very fatal. So there, the voltage is kept less. Whereas in overhead, voltage is kept higher.
So overall, who got this contract? ये ठेका किसको मिला दिया गया है? कौन कंपनी या कंट्री?
इसमें मैं एक चीज बताना भूल गया कि ये जो अंडरग्राउंड वाला हिस्सा था, जिसके लिए हमने सारा स्पेसिफिकेशंस वगैरह और सारे वहाँ की ग्राउंड की प्रॉब्लम्स वगैरह सब कुछ हाईलाइट की थी, और उसको जो है डिस्कशंस भी हुए थे वहाँ पे, जो प्री बिड में जो होता है उसके क्लैरिफिकेशंस वगैरह सारे कुछ दिए गए थे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स को। लेकिन इसमें फाइनली जो सक्सेसफुल हुआ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, वो चाइनीज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर था।
अच्छा।
और जैसा आप लोगों को पता होगा कि उसी समय में वो जो चाइना इंडिया जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहा था, वो वहाँ का जो आपका ये जो लेह के पास जो उधर वो जो एरिया में जो घुस आए थे ये लोग,
गलवान में,
तो गलवान घाटी वाला जो टेंशन काफी ज्यादा बढ़ा हुआ था, उस टाइम में चाइनीज बहिष्कार करने का खूब इन्होंने, खास करके जो इवन बीजेपी के भी जो लोग वो लोग है ना, स्वदेशी वाले जो ग्रुप है उनका, तो वो लोग इसमें बहुत गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसी से थोड़ा सा वो लोग मतलब उसमें आगे ही दिखाना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो उन लोगों ने काफी विरोध करना शुरू किया था। तो उसमें ये हुआ कि इसको चाइनीज इसको नहीं जाना चाहिए, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो है, वो लोग रिक्वेस्ट हो गए थे, तो उनको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं जाना चाहिए था, बड़ा हंगामा मचाया गया था। लेकिन देखिए, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है, एक बार जब आपने पूरा वो लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट है, यू कैन बैक आउट फ्रॉम दैट। तो वो सवाल ही नहीं था कि वो ऐसा कुछ होता। अगर आपको कुछ करना भी है तो आप एग्जीक्यूशन के दौरान उसका गला दबा दीजिए, वो आप मंजूर है। आप उसके बाद आप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बर्बाद करना चाहते हैं तो बर्बाद नहीं कर सकते, उसको रोकेंगे। लेकिन अगर वो डिलीवर भी सही कर रहा है और तो फिर आप कैसे कर सकते हैं एक्शन? तो वो उन्होंने काम ठीक ठाक ही किया है। वो वर्क तो अभी इट इज स्टिल गोइंग ऑन, बिकॉज वो सब अभी कमीशनिंग में नहीं आया। कमीशनिंग में जो सबसे आसान वाला था, जिसमें कि पूरा एलिवेटेड सेक्शन था, उसी को लिया गया। उसके बियॉन्ड जो है काफी लंबा, 2 स्ट्रेचेस हैं जो कि बड़े लंबे हैं, जो कि टनल में आते हैं। तो अंडरग्राउंड स्टेशन भी इसमें है इनसाइड, मतलब जो, तो वैसे स्ट्रेचेस में अभी काम चल रहा है। मतलब वहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो मेरे समय में फाइनलाइज होना शुरू हो गया था, और अभी फिलहाल स्थिति है कि वहाँ पे काम चल रहा है। उसके बाद तो मैंने चेंज कर लिया था, दूसरे इसमें कंपनी में चला गया था। वो LT नॉक करके है ये कंपनी आपकी यहाँ की, टर्की की, उसके उनका नेशनल,
ये जो पहले जो बॉम्बार्डियर वाले बना रहे थे वैगन, इनके मेट्रो के, कैनेडियन बॉम्बार्डियर,
हाँ वो बम्बार्डियर ही थे, बम्बार्डियर का ही